Hello guys, Problematic Boy here, and welcome to I don't like calling them guides. This is more of a build discussion, okay? This is a build discussion of my third build of Sentinel League. The third real build of Sentinel League. I've gone through so many builds at this point, just manically, I mean, I say manically, I do mean that word literally. I do mean manically going through builds. I don't mean it as a turn of phrase. I mean, I was literally manically going through builds, and we finally settled. Our first build was DD Ignite, an SSFSC. That went well. Very clean, very smooth build. We moved on to a trade Herald of Thunder build, which I still have that I talked about, and we've moved back to a fresh start SCSSF SCSSF Sentinel League character that is a Spark Elementalist that's built a little bit differently than Inquisitor, but still good. A little less damage, but pretty tanky. And yeah, pretty tanky. Good damage, good enough damage. 1.2 mil, 1.5 mil, up to 2 mil. You get it. It doesn't. It's Spark. It's a good skill. Uh, it works just fine on an Elementalist. But I want to talk about sort of the unique defenses that we got on this build. That's what's really important to me. I think that's what makes the build interesting, is that we have unique defenses. We're sort of going against the norm here. We don't have any evasion, we don't have spell suppression. If that makes you throw up a little bit and it makes you sick, uh, bye. Or if it interests you, if it piques your interest, it makes you, if you go, ooh, what is this? Eternal Youth, Spark Elementalist. That's right, Eternal Youth. You might want to keep watching. So, so sort of a heavy build discussion. I'll talk about how this build originated and sort of where it got its inspiration from, and the upgrades I'm looking for as well, and what our current gear is. So let's talk about the inspiration for the build by looking at the tree.
When I'm ready,
This is a
I'm
tree that
not
I wouldn't
afraid.
normally make. Why is the tree like this? Why does it go up here and then go all the way down to Templar and Scion? That's very interesting. To me, anyway. Because normally I would say, no, I'm not going to go Scion ever. Ew, gross, Divine Shield. Oh, give me Ghost Shrouds. I'm going to go over here. But, bear with me. There's another content creator who you should know about called Enki, and he has a very popular on the forum, the PoE forums, and he also streams. So he streams on Twitch as well. So you should check him out if you have not already or you've never heard of Enki before. Check him out because that's where this inspiration from this build comes. He has an Ark Witch Tree, and this is basically what the Ark Witch Tree that he has looks like. Except I don't think he takes Divine Shield, and he comes down here because what he wants to do is he wants to run 3 auras with his mana. 3. Count them 3. He wants to run Purity of Elements as his third 50% aura, and then his first 2 auras are Determination and Wrath. And basically, he wants a helmet with double mana reservation from the Loathing Essence and the Implicit to achieve this, and Champion of the Cause. With I think the Reservation Efficiency node, I'm not sure, but I decided to go on a different route. Okay, first off, I wanted to test Enki's tree because I've never played a spellcaster with that kind of tree before, and so I wanted to do it. So I did it, and it worked pretty well. It's a pretty good tree. It's a good tree. I like it. It does what you need to do. It does, since he's using a staff on his Ark Witch. He's using a rare staff for the Annihilating Light, eventually. Um, he's foregoing that spell suppression as well for the most part, and not that much spell block either, almost none. Just relying on that elemental shield and a whole lot of Fizmit, and I think it's good. It's a good guide, honestly. Um, what I wanted to do was make a few adjustments to tailor it to me, and also do something a little different. So, taking that inspiration from that tree and wanting to use Spark instead of Arc, I wanted to not go down the Champion of the Cause. That was my first thing that I wanted to change, and I wanted to change that. And so what I did is I thought about life tapping Wrath and running Determination, Purity of Elements. Life tap Divine Blessing, pretty popular. And seeing if I had the gem slots to fit. With golems, which is what this build uses, we use golems. It's a little difficult to fit in Divine Life Tap, but I could do it. So I figured, okay, I can do it. But then I started thinking about Life Tap. Life tap. Oh, life tap. What if I just did life tap and then all my mana problems were gone? So I thought, well, I don't think it's that bad. And then I thought about it. I thought about this Anoint down here is actually a very cheap Anoint, which makes life tap pretty strong. Cannibalistic, right. You get life recovery, you get 30% increased damage. With skills that cost life, you get 10% reduced life cost skills. It's a very good Anoint. It's very efficient. It's a great Anoint for if you're going to be a life tapping spellcaster. And the Stone Golem gives you a lot of regen. So I said, okay, I can do that. But that's not where it stops. Because I have added on a few layers to this build. That ultimately make it about as tanky as an Inquisitor, with a bit less damage. And I guess you could say it's different. And another way you could say it is it's a little bit worse, but it still feels good to play. So, and it's unique. So let's talk about Eternal Youth. Eternal Youth gives you 50% less life regeneration rate. That's basically like taking your life regen and cutting it in half, just like that. And then it says that you don't get leech, but we don't leech anyway on this build unless we get a Dori Ani large cluster, which Enki does use, but we swap that out for a different cluster because we're doing some things. And Energy Shield Recharge instead applies to life. Energy Shield Recharge instead of applying to your life means that as long as you haven't been hit recently, your life is recharging even if you're using that to cast. So Eternal Youth is really what makes life tapping the casting feel really good. It means that until you get hit, you don't even need regen. Even though we still have 304 regen. Okay, that's a decent amount. The Stone Golem and having it been cut in half. You know, we still have that life recharging is enough to sustain our mana completely. And with the way Spark clears, you know, you're killing, everything's dying. Nothing's hitting you, rarely, if ever. Rarely if ever hitting you. And if you do get hit, you have that life regen kicks in. And your Physmit kicks in and the shield kicks in. And, you know, things don't live that long anyway. So you kill the thing that's been hitting you or whatever, and you're good. So, that's basically the Eternal Youth work. Now, Eternal Youth has some other interesting mechanics. Let's talk about Eternal Youth. I'm an Eternal Youth speaker now. I'm an Eternal Youth proselytizer now. Okay, so we are doing another thing in this build, which is stacking armor. We have combat stamina. We have Faith and Steel. We have Sanctity, a great node for this build. Sanctity. We have Enduring Composure. That is actually 60% increased armor with the two small nodes. Wow. As you can see, even without endurance charges, without a flask up, without our molten shell, we are sitting at 90% estimated physical damage reduction, and 16k armor. Now, keep in mind, our Golem is boosting us, we have a chest piece boosting us, and we don't have our flask up, don't have endurance charges that would also boost us. Okay, it doesn't go above 90%, but if there was a stronger hit, a stronger physical hit, we would need more physical damage reduction, because it would act like, it's weird how physical hits go, but a big physical hit, we need that, we do need the extra. So keep that in mind, that we have these extra layers on top, that I'm not just saying, oh, we have 90% with no flask and we don't have any other sources. We do have other sources, they're just not on right now, so to speak. So we're stacking armor. What's so important about stacking armor? We have all these percent increases to armor. We're running Determination and Wrath as our auras. And since we're life tapping, we can use aura, which goes to 15% increased effect. That's a very good amount of damage and armor on us. Now, have this mastery. Increases and reductions to armor also apply to energy shield recharge rate at 20% of their value. So if you add up all of our armor percent, 60, 23 for some reason. Why is it a weird number? Come on, GG. So it's 83, 103, 133% plus our determination, which is giving us 49%. So we have up to 100, 133 plus 49, 182%, I think. 182% armor, and 20% of that, which is something like 36% or something ish. So 36% increased recharge rate, that is applying to our life recharge rate, because that energy shield recharge is applying to life. We now have life recharge rate along with life regeneration. So our life is recharging that much quicker. Very good. Now we're going to talk about our current gear. Obviously, we have an intuitive leap over here. This is SSF, SC. We got an intuitive leap. It's a pretty good one. We're getting Ash, Frost, and Storm and Potency Will. Pretty good. We're using Divine Shield along with our Crazy Fizz mitigation to generate our Energy Shield, along with Energy Shield Leech, which we're getting from here. Once we switch to a large cluster and one more level, we'll switch to a large cluster. That gives us Arcane Surge against unique enemies. It's 13% more damage because it has effect on it as well. And we'll also get Energy Shield Leech on one of our large cluster notables, which means we can respec this to increase the effect of non-damaging ailments to get that bigger shock. Just to get that bigger shock, more damage. So the 91 large cluster switch is really nice. But just through these two mechanics, we can cap our energy shield pretty frequently while mapping and stay topped off. Unless we can hit a lot, it doesn't really go down. And honestly, it regens a lot if we're getting hit by physical damage. So keep that in mind, that we are generating energy shield, and I do want Gravicious mod. We don't have it yet on our chest. This is without Gravicious mod. We do eventually want that sweet, sweet Gravicious mod to bump up our energy shield even further. And I do want Cyrus Belt. Cyrus Belt works a bit better than the Jewel here, I think. Because, well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's talk about what clusters we are using. I'm using a Flask cluster. That's a little bit insane, right? I have the cast speed during Flask effect, Alchemist Genius for Flask charges. Alchemist Genius, I didn't even think about this. I'm looking at Alchemist Genius, and I'm saying 20% Flask charges gained and Flask effect 10%. That's fucking great. And to put cast speed on top of that, we love cast speed, we love all these things. We don't get charges gained through any other means, so this really, it feels good during mapping. Let's just say that. It feels great during mapping. And we have Special Reserve, gives us damage during any Flask effect, and we regenerate 2% of life during any Flask effect, which means it gives us more life regen, which we want as much as we can. Even if it is cut in half, we want as much as we can. Then we're using Enduring Composure. Like I said, if you're getting hit by an enemy, you're getting those endurance charges to sort of all these stacking on effects. You know, maybe you hit your Granite Flask, you hit your Vol Molten Shell, you're getting your endurance charges. You're very, very tanky once you're getting hit. And then I talked about the large cluster of the energy shield and the Arcane Surge. Let's close this tree now. That was a lot of Eternal Youth talk. Let's talk about the gearing. The Eternal Youth gearing. We have some special upgrades that are important. In the chest piece, obviously, we need a 6-link to efficiently boss. We're just going to need it. We want energy shield recharge rate on the gloves. We want faster start of energy shield recharge on the chest, along with the Gravicious mod. With Life is ES, Life is Maximum ES. We want a
When I'm ready and not before.
Sea Glass Amulet with casting speed and +1 lightning skill gems. That gives us the implicit of 15% faster start of energy shield recharge, which is a very good stat. It applies to the life recharge rate, or recharge time, so that you spend less time taking damage before it slurps up real fast. Once that life recharge kicks in, here's your life. It's at mid level, slurps up. It slurps up real fast. Other gear, our gear's nothing right now. We got shit gear. Our shield is okay. Crafted it this morning. 2% max lightning res. Got some implicits on the helmet. Take some Fizz taking his lightning and +1 maximum lightning for +3 maximum lightning. It just evens out the defenses. And then this chest is whatever. We're going to replace it anyway. The wand is okay. and so on and so forth. And we got this belt from Gwenin. It's given us a good amount of armor. It's given us chaos res. It's given us skill effect duration, which is really nice. So I really like that. I mean, I am eventually going to want to replace this with the Cyrus belt. I think if we can farm it. Who knows how that's going to go. But we will work on that. Cyrus belt is our end game goal here. Like I said, gloves, energy shield, charge rate, and we have this chest here with 49% faster start of energy shield charge rate and an open prefix. So it does have an open prefix, right? Yep, it has an open prefix. We can slap on that Gravicious mod once we get it. So that is the gearing worked out. Eventually, I want to go Melding of the Flesh. We need to get one of those. Melding of the Flesh is going to be super good for this build. 90 max all res on all of our stuff. That's really the path to go. If you're not going to go spell suppression, I feel, is that get that melding is the end game goal. That's going to be our end game goal in SSF. This video's run a little too long. This is my second take. I had my fucking Spotify music playing during the first one. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, if you like the build discussion, or if you have any questions about the build, if you would like to try this yourself and you're not a new player, don't do this if you're a new player. If you're a new player, I forgot to mention this. If you're a new player, play Inquisitor, Spark. Just play that, or follow Enki's guide. Follow Enki's guide if you want to play a witch. Follow Enki's guide on Ark, Elementalist, and play trade. And if you follow that guide to a T, you will be just fine playing Ark. This is if you want to try something a little new though. You're maybe a little more of an intermediate player, and you're sort of tired of spell suppression, or you just want to try something else that maybe is just focusing on melding eventually, and just armor stacking and this life recharge mechanic through Eternal Youth, and that you find that appealing, then this is great. You can ask questions in the comments. You can come over to twitch.tv/problematicboy, where I'm streaming a lot of the time, and ask questions there. You can hit me up in my DMs. And just like I said, I just hope that you like the video in your heart. It helps me a lot if you like the video on YouTube, but you don't have to do that. I don't really care about any of that stuff. But subscribing keeps you up to date. It's free. If you want to keep seeing more videos, maybe a gear update video, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.